So part 2 of the AWS exam certification tips videos. We already covered VPC and networking and security. So now let's take a look on the other services you have to know to pass the exams. Of course, this is a little bit different on the different exams. For the developer exam, you will definitely have to know more about Lambda and programming stuff, CloudFormation and Beanstalk as for other exams, but the here listed services are definitely one of those you should know for all exams. So we covered VPC and security. You definitely have to be good in computing, so EC2, Lambda and so on. Storage, of course, the databases, some of the management tool, CloudFront, of course, it belongs to VPC, but there are normally a lot of questions for CloudFront and Route 53. Of course, API gateway, and especially in the combination with Lambda. And for example, for the SysOps or for the developer exam, also the developer tools. The question is, because these are so many services, you cannot know all of these services by heart. What is enough to pass the exams? And we're going to answer these questions on some of example questions. Let's have a look on this one. A data analytics application requires a service that can collect, process and analyze clickstream data from various websites in real time. Which of the following is the most suitable service to use for the application? And we have 4 possible answers: AWS EMR, Kinesis, AWS Glue or Redshift. So please think for a second and then let's have a look on the answer. The answer is Kinesis, and because Amazon Kinesis makes it easy to collect, process and analyze real-time streaming data. And you find the answer here in the description of the of this question. And what do you have to know about Kinesis? How good do you have to know Kinesis to answer this question? So this is the very first page. Get started with Amazon Kinesis, and you can already find here in the first sentence of the overview page for Kinesis the answer to this questions. And this will in many cases, not in all cases, not for EC2 and Lambda, but for the other services, some of the other services, this is going to be enough to get through some questions. Let's have a look on another example. You're working as a solutions architect for a leading crypto firm where you are responsible for ensuring that their applications are highly available and safe from common web security vulnerabilities. Which is the most suitable AWS service to use to mitigate distributed denial of service or DDoS attacks from hitting your backend EC2 instances? And you have 4 possible answers. Please think a second and let's have a look on the correct answer. This is AWS Shield. And again, what we do have to know about AWS Shield? Do we have to used to work 5 years with AWS Shield to answer the question? Let's have a look on the description. AWS Shield managed DDoS protection, and you find the answer to this question here again in the very first sentence of the description. So it's really a good idea. Take a look on these overview pages for the most important services. It's quite a lot. You don't have to know any of the more than 200 services, but take a look on the categories I have listed, and you should at least know the very beginning of the overview and the description. I think this is going to help you for many questions. One more example on databases. And for databases, there's also important to be able to differ between SQL and non-SQL databases. You're probably going to get some questions where you have to choose between a relational database or RDS kind of service and a DynamoDB. And here you find some keywords where you should take care in the questions. If you see the either or the other one, this could be a hint if it's going to be a SQL or NoSQL database. So for SQL, of course, relational, also complex queries, many joins, OLTP, vendors, if they are already found in the question, like Oracle, Postgres, MySQL. And for NoSQL, of course, unstructured data, highly scalable, key value, and special for DynamoDB, OLAP, or documents. Amazon also has a documents DB. Now let's have a look on a question on databases. So please read the question on your own. I don't have to read it for you. Pause the video for a second if you need some time, and then we have 4 possible answers. RDS, Aurora, so which is actually a part of RDS, Amazon Workdocs, and DynamoDB. And the answer, of course, is Dynamo. And you find the answer in the question here on the very top, key value store, which will save the document models. And if you take a look on the description of Dynamo and also what I just mentioned on some hints to differ between RDS or relational databases and NoSQL databases, you should be able to answer this question. Next question. Please read the question, pause the video if you need a second, and then we have again 4 possible answers. And the answer is Redshift. And why is it Redshift? We find again the answer in the description or in the question here. Perform super fast analytics. So why this is Redshift? Just let's have a look on the description here. Popular and fastest cloud data warehouse, and you can do analytics stuff. Of course, this seems to be a data warehouse. Now let's continue to the next question. Please read the question, and then we can continue with the right answer, though we have 5 possible answers. And the right answer is AWS Step Functions. And again, you don't have to work for AWS Step Function for 3 years to answer the questions. If you take a look on the question, which service can coordinate multiple AWS services into serverless workflows? And we look into the very beginning of the description of the overview to AWS Step Functions. We can find the answer to these questions here, the very beginning. So again, you don't have to know anything about step functions and have to have much practical experience. No, the overview page is gonna be enough for you to answer this question. So far on how to answer questions about some AWS services or some hints about. So in the next part of this video, let's have a look on the 5 pillars, on the documents you have to read to pass the service, and on the most important, or I think most interesting part on this video, how to read the keywords of the questions which are a little bit more difficult than these questions we have seen so far, how to read the keywords to answer the questions. See you.